Are we on, John?
We're on.
Oh, thank you.
So I guess we are, in fact, supposed to be looking for the red light. And by the way, we have gotten great feedback. We've gotten wonderful feedback from all of our viewers out there that they really like this camera that Jun G has set up for us.
John G, very talented.
At what
from an
what we have
engineering
no
point
idea.
of view. We don't know. Look what I got.
Wow. Beau Bock and Hans Heiser Sports.
No. Hans down. Hans China. Hans China down here, which is good. Because, you won't piss off the president. He's going to say to me, Beau, where'd you get the mug?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say Finland.
Or Iowa.
I got it. It's better.
From the heartland. Rugged.
Look at this.
Hey, we've got... So anyway, it's good to see you. I'm in the process of...
Don't start with the phone, please.
Look,
Come on.
Look, share. I'm helping the program out. June, June G, you should be doing this behind the scenes, and then I'm not doing it on the show.
Yeah.
Bring that up at the show meeting this week. Mm-hmm. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Not well. I was going over to Athens yesterday, and I'm on Spaghetti Junction. Bam. Little Asian man bang right into, just jammed me up.
Was he going, like, Gwinnett County area right there?
Yeah. And so...
Gotta be careful. Did he come out like this, grabbing his neck? Oh, the heart!
No, he didn't, because it was his fault.
Well, no, they could do that.
Oh, yeah? You do that, too?
True story. I was coming back from basketball practice my junior year at Chattahoochee. Dad said, whatever you do, go straight to basketball and then come home. You can borrow the car. Sure enough, I'm coming home, went by a buddy's house, had a beer. I'm 17 years old. Last thing I'm supposed to be doing is drinking and driving. Coming down, hit these two Asian women in a Honda Accord, right? Doors open. I'm thinking, oh, here they come, whatever. And I'm freaking out. I don't even have it. They fall out of the car. Okay, like it was rehearsed. They fall out of the car and start grabbing all this stuff.
Yeah.
I freak out. I back the car up and I leave.
Of course. Of course you did.
I was terrified.
My God.
So I get home.
You were terrified. You thought you were going to have to give one of them mouth to mouth.
So I call, I stop at a payphone because this is before cell phones and all that.
Yeah.
And I call my mom and I'm like, Mom, this is what I did. Dad's going to kill me. She said, yeah, I'll call him first. I'll let him know, but head home. I get there. The car's all, billowing smoke and the front end smashed. And Dad comes out and I look at him and I said, it's not that bad. He takes a swing at me. He rears back like to punch because I'm 17, 18 years old. Yeah. And I just run off wherever.
I hope you didn't run back to the accident.
They made me go back up there. They dropped the charges for leaving. But they got a $66,000 settlement, the people I hit. Dad was happy about that.
Oh, God, that was a sharp pain.
That's what I'm surprised you should be in pain.
Stop.
You said right when I got here today, I said, are you okay from this? And you said, actually, I'm not. I have head, I have arm.
I didn't say that. My back's a little stiff.
Work with me here.
Oh, stop. Will you please? I don't want people to think I'm, ambulance chaser.
Not you. BeauBock.com. The enterprise think of what we can do with that money.
I understand.
You're such a schmuck.
Where can we advertise with that money?
Huh? Think about that. I would rent an airplane from PDK. I would have 1 million flyers of just your face and BeauBock.com written on it, and I would fly above Atlanta and just start dropping them.
That's beautiful.
Everywhere.
That's beautiful. I love that. It's raining Beau Bock.
I've always wanted this so much. So where do you want to start, man? We got a lot of stuff to talk to. NFL started. What did you think? Did you watch? I didn't watch one play.
I was surprised. There was absolutely no offense in the game, and I didn't think it was it didn't seem like an open. It wasn't high intensity.
Did you watch it?
I watched the whole thing.
Did Roquan
and the
play?
Braves. Boom, boom, boom,
Did Roquan play good?
Actually, had one great tackle. He's all over the place, as he was. And had one great tackle.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a great player.
Seems like it. Seems like it.
But their quarterback struggled, I guess. They only put up the 3 points. He had to play pretty bad.
Yeah, and the Pack actually got a lot of pressure on him. So it was, he's, I don't know. I just know. I've never been a
Rodgers?
Mitchell Trubisky type of guy.
Or Trubisky. You know what? I've seen him play 2 games, one at the college level and one at the pro level, where I'm just like, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I see what people see in this guy. But for the most part, when I watch him, he's average at best, and I feel like he's kind of
It's
shell-shocked
almost
a
as
little
if he
bit.
can't settle in. He looks like he's still on his toes and anxious. And
I think he's afraid to get hit. I think he's afraid to get hit because
Well,
he starts
you know what?
moving for no reason.
you may be right, because a guy that would put a pencil mustache like that on his face is afraid of a lot of things. He looks like John Waters.
Right. So we get the NFC North. We get the Vikings tomorrow, still 4, but we don't know if Julio's going to play. What about all that? How about him and D-Led?
They're playing.
Well,
What's D-Led?
He's saying he's not going to play, basically, if he doesn't get his contract done.
You know what? They've got to get it done. It's done.
Is it done?
It's done. It's just like Zeke's contract. That was done.
So why isn't he saying he's going to
those
play
guys.
then?
Who?
Julio.
Because it's not done. It's done, but they haven't signed the papers.
That's a horrible explanation.
No,
of what's
I
going
mean,
on.
they settled on everything.
What if he doesn't play and they don't come to an agreement and they lose because of that? Because they have no chance of winning up there
Well,
without.
then what should we do? Tar and feather Julio? I don't know. Or tar and feather Arthur?
Well, my thing is, I see it both ways. But the Falcons,
do you?
they made this. They made the bet.
Yeah.
They made
like
their
a
bet.
conciliare. The Falcons made the bet.
They made their bet by saying that they would renegotiate with him to make him one of the highest paid
They
receivers.
have. It's done. It's a Hans. It's done. Do you think we're going to go into a game without Julio? Do you think? Come on. Come on.
I closed my eyes.
Think. Look, you should be getting oxygen because you have no more hair. That's a great haircut. You save how much you save on that haircut? Because you did good. But think we're not going to go into the season without Julio.
I figured that if I got it cut a little bit shorter than what I normally do, by time, see, I have headshots next week.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, new headshots every 5 years. You got to reprint. Not all of us can keep the same headshot from 1947 on their, memorabilia.
Well, I have the government change them in the post office every other year. Every other year. But
So anyway, so it's a big week. So that's why I went with the short. Give it a week, let it grow out, and it'll be perfect.
that's
not my first
That's
rodeo.
the first time I've ever seen you look ahead.
Right.
Plan down the road.
Right. See, because I was coming here today. What did I tell you? Between 2 and 2:30, I got here at 2:23. I think that's pretty good.
It is good for you.
Right.
I'm worried about these. By the way, this is from Junji and Mr. G. His dad, Mr. G and Mr. Junji. But I hope some things I don't like because I burn my lips. My lips are very sensitive. You know what I mean?
No, why are your lips sensitive?
They just are. They just are. Oh, here we go.
It's like sensitive to hot, sensitive to cold.
God, that's hot.
Are you,
Well, it's
are
a
you an
metal-
ambulance
well, it's in a-
chaser? What are you doing?
Well, it's a metal container, and it comes shooting through that little hole.
It's
It
almost
burns
like
you.
you've never drank out of a thermos before.
I never do. I really do. I don't. I'm not a thermos guy.
I can tell by the way you were looking at it. You're like, all right, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. But we start out 0-1, right? I have no expectations of them going up there and winning it.
No. Why would you have expectations? Except for the fact that when you look at this team and you analyze this team, you realize we're as good as anybody in the league. But we have not given anybody anything or any reason to believe in us. After 5 preseason games, there's nothing to believe in. Secondarily, Julio will be there, but Julio hasn't been there. Ryan's only had a couple of snaps. Freeman's only had a few carries. I mean, how are we going to go in there against a physical football team when we're not?
Well, can't you see the same thing about them, that they haven't played anybody? Because they haven't played any of their guys in the preseason. That's kind of the new model now for the NFL.
Yeah,
These guys just don't play.
Yeah, definitely. But you've got to have a couple of snaps together. You've got to,
I agree with you, by the way. I do think that the big advantage that they're going to have is their home field. I think that they're really
I don't
That's like
think
one
so.
of the last places you want to play.
Hans, I don't think so. I think their advantage is going to be their intensity and their physicality.
But doesn't that feed off the fans and feed off the?
Yeah, to somewhat. At
Yeah.
home, it's much more evident
that's
than
the
it is on the
advantage.
road. But on the road, if they were playing here, I'd like Minnesota.
Yeah, because there'd be nobody at the game. They'd be brokenhearted. I remember a couple years ago when they had the big ordeal about the Mercedes-Benz opening up and nobody showed up. And the players had to be like, wait a second, we just came off a Super Bowl. You've got this brand new stadium and nobody's here? At least it wasn't full. You know, because of the PSLs and whatever the reason is, that had to be disheartening. As a competitor, if I'm on that team, I'm kind of frustrated by that.
I wouldn't be.
I would.
I
I'd
mean,
rather
you got
play for a
enough
place
people there.
where
What are you counting tickets? Was your agent got you getting?
I would
couple of
rather
dollars
have
for
a
every
home field
ticket?
advantage,
I
which
would
the
too.
majority of the teams in the
I
NFL
would
do
too.
have.
But I would too. But part of the home field advantage is also being home. The fact of the matter that you're not traveling,
'cause
not
you
getting
woke
over,
up
you're
in
not
your
going
bed.
into,
Oh, give me
you're not checking into a hotel. All of that stuff is a pain in
fannies
the
in the
ass.
seats, Bo. Fannies in the seats, doctor.
What a jerk!
Fannies in the seats. By the way, there should be a lot of fannies in the seats this week as they appropriately renamed Stanford Stadium Dooley Field. Man, have they been kissing his ass this week. He's everywhere. Everywhere. He's like Good Morning America, 680, 92.9, V103. He was great, by the way, with Ryan Cameron.
I don't want to say anything. I really,
Hey.
because it's really,
He didn't have a stroke or anything.
no. I mean,
You can have an opinion about a guy.
Well, first of all,
He did want to put Herschel Walker at linebacker, did he not?
he did. Didn't I tell you that there's various groups, mafias in our town that there's a good old boy mafia, there's a black mafia, there's a Jewish mafia, and if you're not one of those groups, it's very difficult to get anything done. I mean, anything substantial done. All of a sudden now, it's Billy Payne led this. This.
Not the Billy Payne that brought the Olympics to us.
Secondarily, Dooley's son, I just found out, was Brian Kemp's roommate in college. And so that's a friendship that's lasted. This is a good old boy thing that they're shoving down there because Dooley's one of the major domos of that good
For
old boy
sure.
network. And so is Billy Payne. Billy Payne's like their godfather.
You can't be the head football coach at the University of Georgia for 30-something years, the athletic director. You can't be in that position unless you're going to play ball.
Right. Right.
I mean, somebody.
No, I know.
They
No,
need somebody in there.
It's good. Vince was great for them to, put through the process and to rely on and to be one of their guys.
Right.
Billy Payne, Vince Dooley, Brian Kemp. It's that network.
I don't.
You could agree.
I totally agree. I'm in a complete agreement with your analysis. Don't doubt it at all.
And that's just the lay of the land. That's the way it is. You can't fight it. You can be frustrated by it and say, why are we doing this? But just know that that's part of our culture. It's the lay of the land here.
Yeah. I know what you can do. You can act like you got hit the other day by that guy, that you're injured, right? Take that money, put it into marketing. We go down to PDK, rent an airplane, make 1 million copies of just your face. We go up over the city, and it rains Beau Bock. I mean, if you say it enough time to yourself, it can happen.
But, I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I'm going to keep reminding you.
Anything you ardently believe in and enthusiastically act upon, and do every
The Unabomber said the same thing.
must inevitably come to pass. Anything you believe in like that must inevitably come to pass.
Got to go somewhere.
That's what I tell kids when I do lectures to schools and stuff like that. You can be anything you want to be. All you're going to do is want to be it and then work it. Want to be it and work it. It's got to happen. Except for everybody like Junji, our producer. That's how you end up on a show like this. All the dreams, all the aspirations.
He's cutting his teeth.
Yeah, dreams, aspirations. The sky's the limit. He's working here.
See, I see it the other way. I see a guy who's got all the talent in the world, all the ability, but somehow God has placed him here with us. For some reason. There's something, not sure what it is, that God wants you to get from us.
Yeah, we'll guide you.
Just don't give it to anybody else.
Yeah, please. Keep it a secret.
Keep it in the deal.
We will guide you.
Hey, how about the Bravos, baby? It's almost like they're supposed to win every night.
You know what? Every week they grow. I mean, they are a ballsy ass moxie baseball team.
Donaldson,
I love
man.
that. I love
He's the guy in the middle of it. You got the two guys at the top of the order. You got the veteran in McCann and Freeman, right? And then you got Donaldson, who's just this freaking
this off the wall guy, like Talladega Nights is what I call him. Here comes Talladega.
But it
Nights.
works.
Beautiful.
Fits. Right.
You know what? I didn't like it. You remember?
I didn't like it either.
I didn't like it. I love Camargo, and I love that triumvirate that they had. There was a closeness, there was togetherness, and a joy that spread to everybody on the team. Right. This wasn't like a Spanish thing, and
he's played well since he came back.
Thing.
Camargo, by the way.
I'm
just saying,
great.
He seems like he's got his head on straight.
I still love him. I said, so for that reason, I didn't know why you would break that up and bring in Donaldson. Donaldson's been amazing. Yeah. I mean, that's, it's one of the great, that could get Anthopoulos, GM of the year.
And think about
that
all the
move
other,
alone.
Right, and think about all the names of the pitchers that, people wanted us to go after at the trade deadline and all this, the Kimbrels. Kimbrel, by the way, is on the DL. He's got like a 5.85 ERA.
Yeah, I didn't like him last year.
I can't imagine him being on the postseason roster, and they're on the hook for another $45 million.
Yeah,
for him.
Oh, I know.
Think about that. 3 more years of that nonsense, but that's a them problem. But look, it's looking right now. They were up 8 games. Real quick, last night in the game, Braves win. By the way, Acuna comes up, gets on base, steals second. Right
away.
Their best pitcher's pitching. Mm-hmm. Albies gets a little C&I double. He goes head first, hats flying everywhere, second base. Then Freeman fights off an unbelievable pitch opposite. And it's 2-0. Yeah. Runner on second with nobody out. Against Strasburg. And it was like they just were not ready for that.
And then Max Fried's got to come in and hold that. And gosh darn, he did. Pitched the beauty. Pitched the 6 full innings and was in total command.
Let me ask you a question.
I hate saying command. It reminds me.
Well, you're a millennial.
It reminds me.
You're a millennial. That's what millennials say. They say command, and then when they pass like a nice pass in basketball, it's a dime. Oh. And you're a dime.
What does that mean? Wait, seriously, what does that mean?
Dropping a dime. Look. Another one.
Wait a minute. Can I drop a dime here? I mean, what?
Please. It's a metaphor. You're not literally picking up a dime. Is this like
making a phone call?
It's symbolic of dropping a dime. Like, boom.
What does the dime mean?
It's a 10 out of 10.
What does the dime mean?
It's a 10 out of a 10. It's a dime. Boom.
That's so millennial.
Oh, yeah.
That's so stupid.
Right up your alley.
That's so stupid, millennial. And all those guys, you drop it, who are you?
Hey, listen, back to the command stuff. If the Braves were going to play today in the playoffs, which, by the way, they're either playing the Cubs or the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's going to be the Cubs. I hate the Cubs.
I hate the Cubs. All my life.
I know. I respect the Cardinals. I hate the Cubs. But
cute cubby bear. Who goes onto a field of play with a cubby bear?
Here's the one thing, though. If you go against the Cubs, Madden will run circles around Snicker. I mean Snicker, and I mean that. And I don't mean like motivation and all that stuff because we got that down. I'm talking about taking the extra base, moving runners over, the things you got to do in playoff games.
Yeah, I know. But, you've got to have guys in position to do that. And we will. And maybe Snit's getting better. Maybe
he won't play small ball. He's not going to change his ways.
Boy, there was a game the other day which I wish we did. I was just crying. It was like...
They don't have anybody. Here's his thing. They don't have a position player that can bunt. right? And he has it in his mind that he can't bunt anybody over because it has not even occurred to him to use a pitcher as a bunter and not
No,
waste a
he's used
position.
Freed a couple of times.
He has.
Yeah.
Freed and Tehran are money.
Yeah, right.
They could both. You ever seen Fulte bunt? Like this.
Faulty. You know.
I mean, what? I mean, I wouldn't want a guy like that on my team.
I
would not want a guy that bunts like that on my team.
I have no confidence in Faulty. I have no confidence. He's pitching well. I have no confidence.
Is it Freed your guy? Don't you give the ball to Freed in the postseason?
He's got to.
Freed, Keuchel, and Soroka.
Yeah. You know what? That's not bad.
And you got Julio.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And you got Tehran. Tehran, he's had a great year.
Yeah, I know he has. No, I like that.
Man, we're coming around at the right time.
You know what I like when I like that when you think about our chances.
The last guy who's out is Fulte.
Yeah.
That guy Wilson and Fulte, they're not on my roster, right? Playoffs, the guys for sure that are going to be out there. I think Newcomb will be there for sure. I think the two guys they traded for, Melanson and Green, will be there.
Sure.
I think Swarzak will be there.
Right.
I don't know that they put Fulte in the pen. I think they leave Fulte off the roster. They got too many guys throwing the ball well down there right now.
You know what? That might be good for Fulte. That would either be great for him or completely destroy him.
I think it's up in the air. I think if he comes and has a couple of good starts, maybe he gets in that conversation because a couple starts ago he was untouchable.
It just drives me crazy because he looks so less than confident. He looks like he's anxious on the mound. Looks like the littlest thing would just totally upset him and get him off his game.
Well, you heard the nonsense this week why he left after 79 pitches because he got too hot.
Is that what they said?
No, that's what he said. He said he got too worked up and he just had to leave. They didn't have anybody warming up. They didn't have anything. That's the second time this year that he's done that. He's got to go. I mean, long term, he just doesn't fit with anything.
No. You know, he could, you used him in relief. He could come in with the bases loaded and hit the batter in the head.
Yeah, that would be, you are demoting him, and he's going to come in there with, what am I doing here? I don't need, no freaking way.
No, he can't handle it.
He can't be on the roster. He could not be on the postseason roster. I don't trust Newcomb right now. He's been getting hit a lot lately, so Swarzak.
Well, I was going to say that. How do you trust Newcomb?
Yeah.
You keep wanting to. And every time you do, he lets you down.
Right.
Give up a home run and walk 3 the other night. We were winning 7-2 or something like that.
Yeah, who knows? I think it's all kind of up in the air. We just got Austin Riley back today. I mean, is Markakis ready? Is Inciarte ready?
Yeah, which by the way, that's great. I hope he's got a little easier comeback than Dansby because Dansby doesn't have it going yet. I feel for him.
And the first game, Dansby had some great at bats, and I was watching. I was like, man, how does he come back and not skip a beat?
The last 2 games, he's just like swinging at all kinds of stuff like he used to a year ago. And then this year, at the beginning of this year, I mean, he was dynamic. I loved it.
What if he's still hurt?
I don't think.
Now, I haven't been paying much attention to him. I watched that first game. He came back, and I thought he played well. I thought, like I said, that he wasn't going to skip a beat. But, the box score indicates he has not had, last few games. I don't think he's had a hit. Maybe
he just hasn't looked good.
Right.
You're a stat guy. You and Joe Simpson and
guys like that.
And Glavin. Guys like that,
right.
Your command guys.
Actually, we're going to have a beer tonight.
Yeah, no.
Me and Joe Simpson and Tom Glavin.
Bring some stats.
Tom always sticks me with the bill. Always. I think his last year in the league, he made $18 million.
He's not going to pay. He's not going to pay for anything.
Unbelievable.
No, not going to pay for.
Why are they using him so much?
You know what?
Why does he want to do it?
Because he wants to do that. That's him. What else he's going to do? And he just makes every game so tedious with his monotone, crazy ass delivery. The
one thing I do like is that I do like that he talks in a sense like, "Hey, it's us." Like he's a Brave through and through. Like he could give 2 craps about any other team, and he borderline dogs these other teams to an extent. Like if they show highlights of like a Phillies game, he's like, "Yeah, look, Phillies, they're gonna blow it." It's
No,
just
you
like
know,
something
just like-
normal announcers don't say.
It's just like, Chip when he talks, well, that's good for Atlanta. It's good for us.
Us.
It's good for us. Good for Atlanta.
They-
Like,
you know, I
where are
think-
we doing this game?
Yeah, I think the play-by-play guys, they have to be given specific instructions. That I think he's a Cardinal fan.
Oh, I know he is.
He's a Cardinal.
Just like
Those guys never change.
Wes and Arch with the Falcons. Those guys want to do. They're.
No, Arch is a Falcon fan.
No, you wouldn't
I don't know
it,
about
though.
Tubby.
But
I
you
don't
wouldn't know
think-
it.
I don't
You
think
wouldn't know
Tubby.
it though.
I think he'll just.
I
sell
mean, if
his
you
soul
listen
the
to Arch
devil.
do again,
I know Dave's a Falcon fan. I know he is.
well, he won't do it on the air. What I'm saying is, if you identify with one team, I think he's afraid of not getting booked for some of these college games, and that's. And that's why that's Wes's influence on him, because that's Wes's deal.
Did you see who's the NFC South this week? By the way, tell them about our friends at Low T Nation.
They're just the best.
They're the best.
They're the best. You feeling a little sluggish? Call Low T Nation. That's all I got to tell you. That's all I got to tell you.
You know, I wanted to look to see.
You want a little whoopity-doo going on
Who
again?
doesn't want
Call
whoopity
Low
do?
T Nation.
So the NFC South. Let's take a look at their schedule this week. I was curious to see who everybody was playing. Tampa hosts the 49ers. Tampa's -1 at home.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
against
surprised
the
at that.
49ers.
I'm surprised at that.
That'll be interesting. Tampa's lost a lot of talent on defense.
I know.
They lost 2 of their linebackers.
Right.
Their best defensive tackle left. So they're going to be completely rebuilt. New defensive coordinator. Let's see. What about New Orleans? I think they play Monday night, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they play Houston at home on Monday night
And then,
in New
then
Orleans.
Carolina, who do they have?
Carolina's playing the Rams in Charlotte. Rams -1.5. That's going to be interesting to see the Rams if they can. Where do they come from last year,
Well,
right? Because
it
Gurley
wouldn't-
got hurt. That was the end of their deal. That was the end of them.
yeah.
And they tried to play him, and they were just never the same.
See, I think, you have those one-year wonders and teams come together and there's almost that law of averages syndrome that takes one team all of a sudden to the top. I don't see the Rams being that type of team. I see the Rams coming back being hell on wheels
Right.
this year again.
But not like the Seahawks were a couple years ago, where they were in the conversation for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
In the Super Bowl.
No, that's the Seahawks.
Won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, they had it all together.
right.
It's just like what I was talking
It's a
about.
high
like
bar.
with us in 2016, beating
We could. That
beating
was our
New
window.
England
We
in the
could.
Super Bowl. But what would have if we won that? Would it have been any different in 17? I don't think so, because we totally screwed the pooch as far as developing that success that we had. I mean,
how was there
we've
not
gone
a con-
backwards for 2 years.
How was there not a contingency plan in place throughout the season, especially with the success that they had offensively, that Shanahan was going to leave? Right?
Yeah.
It couldn't have been the freaking guy in over his head.
you know what?
That was a plan. We
See,
talked.
We're not like that, Hans. We're not.
You gotta be thinking. I'm paying a guy. I'm hiring a kid that's a quarterback coach, some shit like that, whatever,
Right.
and follow him around.
Right.
You communicate everything to Matt Ryan. How is this going to play out? What's another way to talk to execute this, and make sure that it's seamless? That's good teams would do something like that,
Well,
not being like, oh well, he left.
that's what we have all those.
Our offense is done.
all those ex-general managers. So we got 5 of them. And you would think that one of them would be Arthur's guy, except that, McKay has that role. I think it's lesser to some lesser extent than it was, but that's Arthur's chief football guy is McKay. And McKay is an opportunist. He wants to be commissioner one day. He's a total empty bag.
Do you know what I've decided? I decided this the other day. I quit fantasy football. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, did
I
you?
quit fantasy football altogether. And I realized that the last couple of years, my Sundays were just looking at stats and looking for touchdowns and stuff, and that's not what it's all about.
No, it's
you
not.
lose the competition,
Right.
and I'm not letting that happen. And what it really disassociated me with was my fandom for the Atlanta Falcons. How much of that was the product, and how much of that was my addiction to fantasy sports? It was a combination of the two. So I've decided to eliminate one, and I'm going all in on the Falcons this year. Not that I normally wouldn't, but I believe I like Dan Quinn. When I hear him talking, the say things he says, and the optimism, I think his heart's in the right place.
Yeah, you would.
I want it to work. I want it to work. Do I think it'll work? No.
It's a fait accompli. It's not working.
No, he's got another year. He's the head coach.
You don't come back from this, Hans. You can't change colors
I'm
in
optimistic.
midstream.
I'm optimistic.
Optimistic of what?
We've got a great quarterback.
This is life.
We're going to protect
We've got
our
millions
quarterback.
of years of evidence leading up to this point that you can't. A zebra can't change its stripes. Is that the expression?
But this zebra should have won the Super Bowl.
The zebra won the Super Bowl if he wasn't such an
Even
idiot.
better proving my point.
They won it. They won it. They were the best team in football. Then they went backwards.
I think it's momentum.
Has nothing to do with momentum.
I think
God's sakes.
I think if they win a couple games early on,
we should go into Minnesota this Sunday and kick their ass if we had anything going on. But we don't. We don't.
You don't know that.
We don't have any body and soul. We don't have any heart and desire. We're not into it. No, we're not. It's a totally superficial thing run by Arthur, who's just been evaluated at $2.7 billion. That's all that he gives a crap about.
Devontae Freeman got 32 of that.
You know, Arthur got that in his pocket.
Right.
You know, Arthur tips cabbies more than that.
Like Devontae's bumped his head a few times. I like him. He missed the block to cost us the Super Bowl. He's a good guy.
Put him in the rafters. Get a banner. Herbie, get a banner. Get him in the rafters.
Hey, by the way, it's top secret what they're doing there on the old side of the Georgia Dome. I drove by there the other day, and they got tarps up around everything because they're doing the big release.
What, we're releasing pigeons? What, are we trying to correspond with Italy? What?
That's going to be like the center for like the Beltline and for green energy, and that's where people are going to tailgate and hang out. They're working round the clock, and it's a big secret.
I got to get a bandana. You know, I can go down there and hang out. I really do. I can get like an Uncle Paul T-shirt and a bandana. You know, hey, Beau Bock, good to see you. Cool.
And that's it. Sounds good to me. So they lose, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see. College.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you, just for the sake of conversation.
I'll be glad after Sunday's game we'll have something to actually talk about instead of the speculation of what it,
Right. How are we going to win?
How are we going to win?
Yeah.
They have the same problem we have. They have a bad offensive line. And if they can't run the football, if we score, look, if we're going up and down the field scoring points, right? I don't know that they can do that with us.
No, they can't. They can't go up and down the field and score points. But us going up and down the field scoring, I hope so. But there's just no, I don't know. We'll score points, but that is a physical football team. Mike Zimmer is that type of coach. They'll kick our ass. Literally. Matt will score points. And this is why I talk about we'll win enough games.
There'll be empty wins. You think I'm not paying attention.
Empty victories.
You think I don't listen.
Empty victories. It'll mean nothing.
That's right. Empty stats.
It'll be like a Paul Johnson football season.
Somebody the other day on Twitter said, somebody was talking about Matt Ryan being a Hall of Famer, and they said, well, look, his stats are going to end up here. And the guy just wrote, they're all empty stats.
Did he write that?
Yeah.
Empty?
He said they're empty stats. Isn't that a shame that that's the perception?
Well, it really is, because that's
of our offense and of our quarterback.
No, it is, because that's not right. There's a reason that those are empty stats, and it has nothing to do with Matt Ryan.
Yeah, it's not trash time. It's not like he's getting these stats late in games when the teams are down by point.
Right.
That's how a lot of people make a living.
Yeah, no, Matt, no. Hey, give me any team. Give me Matt.
Yeah.
I know exactly what we're going to. I know we're not going to make mistakes. I know we're going to get it to the right guy. If we protect him, we can beat anybody.
Yeah, and mistakes are going to be made. These defensive coordinators, they're not stupid. They set them up from week to week, to set them up to make them think that guys are open, and they're not. You see Brady do it. You see Peyton Manning do it. They'll throw, and a guy will just catch the ball, be just standing there, and they get outsmarted. It happens to everybody, but to your point, I take his decision-making, his athleticism, his leadership, all the intangibles, no nonsense off the field, the total package.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, you bring in Matt, forget about quarterback.
Yeah, for 20 years.
That's done. Right. No, seriously.
Right.
By the way, you told me McGarry was going to start at right tackle.
Right. I like
That's
that.
good. I like that too.
Put the best guy there.
The one time I saw him, what was it, week 3 or 4? I thought he was solid, boy. Right. He looked like
he looked like
a left tackle.
Did you hear him say after the game, about some?
Yeah, I like his attitude. Yeah, I like his attitude. He may be a mean guy. We need a mean guy.
Yeah.
We need one of those guys like we used to have. We used to always had a mean guy in the offensive line.
Think about how pumped they are. 2 rookies, 2 first-round picks. They come in at the same time, and this is it. This is their chance to really prove everybody wrong against one of the best defenses in the league on the road.
Right.
They got to be freaking amped.
No, we'll score points. And if Minnesota can score some.
I want to see Devonta Freeman take a hit, get up, and take the ball again. That's what I want to see. That's when the Falcons are at their best. When he's running wild and he's catching the ball in the flats, that's when we're at our best. I'm serious.
I know it. I agree. I agree. I just like when you get in that Rockney mode.
Hey, you saw that?
I said, John G, run for your life because I'm coming across this table.
Right.
You know what I mean? You get me going when you talk like that.
Right.
It's amazing.
And if you're in your office or wherever you are, just sit down.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Deep breath.
By the way, did you watch any U.S. Open this week? I think Federer might be finally done.
I hope
Seems like it.
I hope not. He competes like crazy. Hey, is tennis come like light years? Though they're playing tennis.
Oh yeah. The
it's
athletes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How
140, 150 mile an hour serves, backhand for
and total control.
Well,
at that speed is unbelievable to me.
The other thing I notice is when I'm watching these matches, and I'd like to get David's take on this, your neighbor who's a tennis enthusiast, is when you watch them play as opposed to back in the day, these rallies would be just wild and reckless and all over the place. Now they're more orchestrated. There is a method.
Baseline to baseline. Bam,
but
bam.
I feel like that has a lot to do with video and research and analytics and their coaches.
They're big time into that.
Yeah, I think so.
There's a lot of money in tennis. Every one of those players has got 2 coaches minimum, and then all of the video equipment. Everything.
Imagine the life that those
on
guys
the road.
live. The best tennis players.
Wow.
Traveled the world. Because it's not like golf. You don't have the European tour, and you've got the ATP, and that's pretty much on the money circuit, right?
Yeah, no, it's big time. I mean, you look at that crowd in Flushing Meadows, and that's a different crowd, man. That's a big money crowd.
Yeah, I've never been to a U.S. Open. I'd like to go to a U.S. Open. I think I'd enjoy it.
I'll take you. I've been in Flushing Meadows. I grew up there. That's where I was. That's where I worked at the World's Fair in 1968. A little kid, on the tram that went from one side of the World's Fair to the other.
Right, and that was you. You would say a nickel for your ride.
No,
nickel for your ride.
Nickel. It cost about $3 or $4 to go from one side to the other, and they wouldn't bring it back. So I said, it's come into we had a loader, then we had a catcher, an unloader, a loader, and that guy puts it in the trip. So 4 guys to catch these trams as they come down into the station. Mm-hmm. So it'll come down, and if I was the catcher, you want to go around again? Want to go around? All right, give me $1. Give me $1. Go through. and then tell the other guys, so we all split it,
Right. I hope the IRS isn't watching the show.
Oh, I settled with them. I settled. And one time, it would always rotate. So it'd be catch, load, unload. I was a trip guy one time. And one of the things, I thought was funny, when I'd be looking up at the coupling, and this thing's going, 200 feet above the World's Fair. People are a little bit skeptical.
Sure.
People afraid of heights.
People like you catching them.
And I'd be looking at the thing as I load it, and you put it into the trip, and there's a 4-second delay before it goes, and it swoops down and then climbs up to 200 feet above the ground. And I'd be looking at that coupling, say, Joey, come here, look at that. Does that look right to you? No, he'd go, no. I go, hold that car! And the thing would go, and people would go, oh my God! I finally had a woman jump out of the thing.
What?
Yeah.
That was the end of her?
That was the end of me. She heard us. They broke her ankle.
Oh, man. Say,
Better than
sorry.
break an ankle.
Sorry,
break
little
your
Bock,
ankle.
we got to let you go. You're taking it too far with the jokes.
No.
Miss McGarity, she jumped out of the damn tram. Unbelievable.
I'm laughing. I don't think that's funny. All right? I do not.
Doesn't. No, you care about ladies' ankles, actually. I've heard you mention them on several occasions.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange, by the way. What about poor Mike Mayock and John Gruden?
I feel sorry for him.
No, seriously.
Those two,
Antonio Brown.
those two went into like you and I would go into it. Come on, let's go. I want you to be my GM, and then all of a sudden reality hits. Mike Mayock is trying to play, tough guy, and he's a good guy, by the way, Mayock, but he's just like a little overbearing, and so something like that happens. You say the wrong thing because you're just not thinking about what you should say, and just say the wrong thing, and it just blows up. He's back now,
Well, right. So now they're saying he's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
After going on social media and blasting the ownership and blasting the general manager.
Wait a minute. He came back. He cried to the team today and apologized.
Well, guess what? Because he doesn't get paid. If they cut him before the first game, he doesn't get paid.
Right.
So what's going to happen is, and I think somebody earlier, Ryan Clark or one of them.
Somebody's going to suspend him, right?
No, he's going to play. But here's what happens. As soon as he plays, he's guaranteed his money. And as soon as he's guaranteed his money, he's going to be a bigger pain in the ass.
I know.
And then they'll buy him out, and he'll get his guaranteed money, and he'll go sign for New England and win a Super Bowl for fish heads and rice.
No, it's a shame.
That's the way the business works.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, it's happened.
Business works if you've got guys. Obviously Antonio was, maybe brought up differently. Maybe doesn't hold, anything in regard. Maybe doesn't know about loyalty.
Maybe he was abducted by aliens. We
might
don't
have
know.
been. Yeah, true.
Right.
True.
They got a hold of him. I know a guy abducted by aliens. You know him too, Andy Jordan.
Andy Jordan.
Abducted by aliens.
Andy Jordan, Al Davis.
AJ Cannon was abducted by aliens.
AJ's up there. So we've got guys, we've got influences up there with those guys.
June G, if anybody opens up a cab door, right, and you didn't go order a cab, don't get in it.
Hey, by the way, Georgia Tech in South Florida.
Yeah, Charlie Strong, your boy.
That's how, they're going to bounce back. Everybody's saying, well, Tech's got to be. Why does Tech have to beat them? Tech is playing with guys on the offensive line like the three of us.
Hey.
You know what I mean? It's like, how is Tech going to beat anybody? I thought that their performance last week was remarkable.
Right.
Under the circle. I thought it was absolutely a big-time success for Jeff Collins.
There was a scout on the radio that said that they'd be lucky to win 3 games.
Yeah.
He said, seriously. He's like, and I don't mean it's disrespect.
No.
They shouldn't 3 games,
right.
maybe.
No, they shouldn't have been in that game last week. I thought they accounted for themselves very, very well.
Man, that's got to be tough to be a part of that team. But, I bet they're proud to do it.
See, but now coming down and to come off that, the disappointment of that, now to get up for a team that got its ass kicked and now is bouncing back because Charlie Strong is not, he's not a great coach, but Charlie Strong's a good man. And guys like to play for him and they play hard for him. So this is going to be a bounce back team. Everybody's saying Tech's got to win. Why? Well, what would make you say that Tech's got to win this game? Give Jeff Collins a couple of years, will you please?
Will you please?
I mean, that's why he got a 6-year deal. I mean, that was smart.
Right, that was smart. I agree. I thought that was interesting as well. Maybe they got the right decision makers over there right now, and maybe sports is starting to become more of a priority. And I guess if you're going to do that, you start at football, right, and work your
Yeah,
way down
yeah.
basketball. And I think next year's probably going to be make or break for Pastor, and then they got to figure something out there long term similar and get some passion back into the fan base.
I hope they know who their next basketball coach is right now.
I mean, there's just
Right now. Because, if you got any sense at all, you realize that there's nothing's going to happen.
you know who's the best young basketball coach I've seen in a long time, honestly, is Lloyd Pierce. And I'm not just saying that. Like, he's the best one that I've seen in a long time. His players respect him. He's not a liability in the X's and O's.
I love
he
him.
hires the right people.
Yeah, I love him.
He's respected by his peers. He's
Yeah.
respected by his
Great
players.
attitude, great demeanor.
Right.
Obviously very intelligent. Obviously, like you said, guys play for him. I love him.
So
one of the great things that he's done.
So if Schlink is, if he's the scout and he's the guy who's supposed to see all this, then obviously he's a good scout of talent as well too.
A good scout of talent and people,
Right.
character, intuition, having intuition into a guy's makeup.
Right.
A lot of people can't do that. We see it so much in our town with our teams. The crazy ass characters we've had, running our teams
And the media.
over the years. We've got no media. That's why you got crazy ass characters running our teams. We've got no media. We're the only media, and we've been blackballed because we tell the truth.
You've been blackballed. I'm here to help. I'm the
You're
guy
on-
with the
you're
olive
on-
branch.
Oh, thank you.
It's like, Mr. Bock,
Thank you.
okay,
Yeah.
it's time to come back.
Let me tell you, take that olive branch and shove it. Please.
Not again.
Please. Yes.
Don't make me do it again. It's embarrassing and it hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts. Guys at home, if you haven't seen an olive branch,
Oh. Ooh. Is that it for us?
that's it for me. I don't have anything else to talk about.
Well, he didn't talk about anything so far.
I talked about all kinds of stuff.
Hey, how about our quarterbacks? So Georgia Tech's. Georgia's becoming like the quarterback launching pad. We had, Justin Fields, Ohio State, looking like $1 million. Jacob Eason, who I don't like, is having a big year in Washington. And then from Alabama, Jalen Hurts. I'm so happy for that kid.
Yeah.
That was, man, he was tough. Man, that was beautiful.
Who did Oklahoma play? BYU?
No. I don't know. I forget. But he was so good.
I saw Missouri got beat with Kelly Bryant
Yeah. I'm
against
not a
Wyoming.
Brian.
So the big games this week, you got Texas A&M on the road in Clemson. That's a 17.5 point spread, you said?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I would think.
They're going to be fired up. They're going to be fired up. That place is going to be rocking. That's the
Oh.
3:30 game.
A great place to watch.
Great place to watch a game. I've seen a couple there, both at night. It was awesome. And then what was the other big one this week? Oh, LSU at Texas. That's
Yeah.
the night game.
Yeah.
8 o'clock. They're going to be fired up there. They've been waiting on football for almost
Yeah.
20 years.
I don't know what to think. I know what LSU is going to look
Let me-
like. I know what LSU. I don't know what to expect from Texas.
You really think Coach O, you see him going on the road and
Coach
winning
O,
this game?
Coach O is not a good game day coach, but he'll get them so that Texas got to spend some extra money on locker room doors. Well, no,
got the extra money.
boom,
He's like Mongo.
His Mongo gets them going, and then my job is over. I got 2 coordinators here. You guys handle everything. My job is done. But, LSU is a big hitting team. They'll come out fired up. I don't know what to expect from Texas. I don't have a feel for them under Tom Herman.
I mean, you just saw what they did to Georgia last year, but I mean, how motivated was Georgia?
Hey, we took Uber to the game. I mean, we didn't care. You know what I mean?
I like that you're coming around on this whole Uber and you're
Yeah,
replacing
wait for us.
cab with Uber.
Wait for us. We'll be leaving right after the game.
You're a
it's-
millennial.
Huh?
You're a millennial.
Well, I'm surrounded by too many millennials. It rubs off.
I'm Generation X. Gen G, even though he's 10 years later, he's Gen X too. We've talked about this. We have a lot in common.
You are both you may be Gen X, but millennial mentality.
Not true at all.
I think so.
Not true at all.
I think so.
Do you know that the other day I ordered my first thing online?
You ordered your first thing. What did you
Ordered.
plan for?
Ordered.
Oh, ordered.
Got
Yeah?
a pair of shorts. I always, if I'm thinking, I'm like, I need a pair of shorts, I go to get a pair of shorts.
Yeah, me too.
Christmas shopping. I'm the schmuck running around, grabbing stuff.
You have coupons, so you just go in.
Sometimes, if it's a big coupon, like if it's the Bed Bath Beyond, the 20%er, the big blue one that Sarah gets a lot of, I'd take that.
What'd you order? Patch mattress?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what patch mattress shorts are?
No. I'm not familiar with patch mattress. I think we should end on that.